Welcome, welcome, welcome to this Meet the Miniaturist special mini show edition. I wasn't planning to go live. I'm going to thank my special guest in advance for making this happen so quickly, but we are coming up on a week since the Philly show, and I really want to get to talking about that, and I want to bring up our special guest to talk about that. But before we do that, just note, guys, that I do have an estate sale happening right now. And I'm going to go ahead and put the put the links in the comment section so that you know where to go to shop the sale. So hold on one second because I want to bring up one more link to my eBay channel, to eBay store. So that's actually where the sale is happening right now. So you guys can go shop the sale. It's ending tomorrow, which is Sunday. So if you're coming to see this a little after, you might miss the sale, but 7 o'clock Sunday, the 17th. But with that, I want to bring on my special guest. Thank her for being here. It's Monica, and it's Monica from Monica's Maisonette on Instagram, which I popped in there. Thank you again for joining. We're going to talk all things miniature, and we're going to talk about the Philly show that just happened last weekend. We're going to do show and tell. We're going to share some of our haul. But most importantly, I want you to introduce yourself to the folks who are watching at home. Tell us about yourself, how you got into miniatures, where you are now, because you're a big girl collector from what I hear.
I'm trying to be.
And I want to talk about what that is. We have a lot to cover. So please introduce yourself and say hello to everybody.
So I'm having show withdrawal, probably like everybody else. I'm Monica Schellebarger. I live in Nashville, and I am obsessed with miniatures like you and all of your followers. I started out with a dollhouse as a child that my dad made for me. And I mean, it was rough, the avocados, shag green carpet scraps, and wallpaper remnants. And but there was one store in town that had miniatures, and not the fine quality miniatures that we all know and love today, but definitely sweet little things. And it started my obsession with cakes and pastries, because these little cakes were one of the first little treats. I'm sure they're plaster.
I remember those.
You remember? Yes. Take me back down memory lane. So I still have my I probably got a great report card or something. And so my mom me, and I was able to pick out some little cakes. And
I bet sometimes those bring more joy than some of your finer art pieces that we're going to get into, because they bring up that emotion, right?
And that's what miniatures are all about.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so fast forward for us, because you got back into miniatures after life happened, right? Like life.
I did. So, I mean, I grew up, went to college, did all those things. And then I got my first job and had to live in Chicago for 2 months. And I went to the Art Institute and discovered the Thorn Rooms. And then I went back every Saturday and visited with the Thorn Rooms for 2 months, and just fell in love and was enthralled, and got home. And shortly after that, happened upon a copy of the Hobby Builders Supply Catalog that we all know.com now, and started dreaming of having a real big girl dollhouse that had crown molding and hardwood floors and lights and all the things. And of course, my husband and I were newly married and lived in a 1,200 square foot condo, which doesn't lend itself well to dollhouses. But I went to the local miniature shop, Miniature Cottage, that Jean, who owned it at the time, is still there every day, even after selling it to Renee. She's still always there.
So that shop is still there in the Chicago area?
In Nashville.
Oh, in Nashville.
Yeah. Wow. And where I live now. And so I popped in there and was looking around at everything, and looking at the cakes and the furniture. And then I saw room boxes, and I thought, I might have room for that. And Ray and Scott Whitledge Burgess lived in Nashville at the time. And my first miniature class was a class with them.
Yeah.
Well, I was in a little bit over my head.
So you actually went from 0 to 100. You went from, okay, I'm a hobbyist, I had a dollhouse, all the way up to taking classes and a Ray Whitledge class, which that's not a beginner's class. So do I spy a Ray Whitledge room box behind you? So you made that in a Ray Whitledge class.
In Chicago, the last class I got to take with them in 2009, I drove home with it, and I was 6 months pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, can I just say one of the things that I was really drawn to you is just your boundless energy. Just you have so much energy and so much enthusiasm for this little world. I'm like, I got to chat with her. I have to chat with her.
I do. I love the world and I love the people.
You do. And you're very supportive. You're very enthusiastic. I mean, you're like a super miniaturist for sure.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Yeah. I want to go to that Ray piece in back of
Yeah.
you because one of the things I think makes his work so special is that he creates environments within environments. Can
Oh
you
yeah.
talk a little bit about what makes that room box so special in that regard?
You know, one of the things we all love about the Thorn Rooms is that the light, how the light comes in, and they got a special scenery from Bath from one of their trips that is, basically what you're seeing outside of the shop. So if you're inside the shop, peering out the window, you're transported. You're in a completely different place. Even the little kitchen area, we've got back
Yes.
before anybody was making really big appliances. We have the
Yeah.
illusion of having an oven with all the cakes in there, the
Yeah.
refrigerator. My work table's got a little, my flowers popped over there, but just completely transforms the experience. So you feel
Yeah.
like you're immersed in a French pastry shop.
And this takes me to your experience with the Thorn Rooms. I can only imagine that inspired you to, I mean, because this is all about, the Thorn Rooms are all about environment and capturing the light and perspective and depth and dimension. And the Whitledge pieces are all about that. So I can totally see the connection here between
Mhm.
being so involved and seeing the
Yeah.
Thorn Rooms going back again and again to now having kind of your own version of that.
Yeah. And I got to be honest, Ray and Scott were so gracious and
I
so
bet.
patient for having a newbie in their class. I mean, they
Oh,
made
you were
me
a
love
newbie
the hobby.
too.
They were beyond gracious to me and made me absolutely love it so much. And, coming into this with, I had a mini miter box. I didn't have any big girl tools.
You talk about that. The big girl collection, big girl tools. So
Yeah.
now that box, you did that when you kind of re-entered the mini world. That was like your first thing.
Well, that was my fourth one. I did three with them prior to this,
Oh,
which
you did not.
when my workroom isn't covered with all of my Halloween decorations that need to be put away, maybe someday we can look at those. But I actually did three. I did the China and Crystal Shop.
Oh
I
my
didn't meet
gosh.
Martha McLean until this class. She did the China and Crystal Shop also. So I do want to
Oh.
have a big girl collection like Martha in my Crystal and China shop because it doesn't have Martha stuff in it.
Okay, we're gonna talk about the big girl collection because I think that's what also drew me to you because I had rumblings and I saw you, I follow you on Instagram, and I'm like, oh my god, this girl's got an eye for miniatures, and I'm like, I have to connect with her, and so I saw your posts, I saw some of your miniatures, I'm like, you know what you're doing,
I'm
so.
trying.
Yeah, so talk about that. What is it, and for people who are watching, what does it mean to have a big girl collection? What does it mean to you? Because it's going to mean different things to other people.
I think, I buy what I love. And
Uh-huh.
that doesn't always mean that I have a place for it. So this little shelf that's above here, that it's kind of my holding spot. So I have some little clear lofts that I got and another clear display case because I really got involved with shoes and bags. I mean, you can't resist Valeria's bags. You can't resist Patrizia Santi. And I found another lady who's in Korea and I bought way too many bags, way too many shoes, but I am going to build a room box that's a closet, that is a walk-in closet,
Huh?
a big island. So that's coming. So I'll, buy things and just put them in a little holding spot because I don't want them in a box
Yeah.
somewhere. I
Yeah.
have a hard time not buying emotionally because either I
Yeah.
love the miniaturist, because I
Yeah.
do love that connection of getting to talk to the artist. And
Mhm.
it's really hard to not just see something and get so attached to it and say, I have to have it. So
Yeah.
I'm a little bit emotional in my purchases
Yeah.
sometimes.
And I mean, I think how everybody's going to collect differently, but I think it's inspiring to know that you don't always have to have a place for everything.
Right.
You could put it on your shelf and enjoy it until you're ready. But,
Right.
but it's nice to have in the meantime. And you might not ever have a place for that, but at least you have that bag or that pair of shoes that you fell in love with.
There's a
So
plan.
that's great.
There will be a plan
There will be a plan. I like
at
it.
some point.
Famous last words
There will
before
be a
as you
plan.
buy.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
big girl collector. Now, who are some of your favorite artists? Can you even name a few of them?
I can name a bunch. I can name
Okay.
a bunch. And I've been obsessed with miniature food for a very long time because
Oh,
around the
yeah.
time that I discovered the miniature cottage, I discovered CDHM, which was well before Etsy, and it was
Oh,
custom doll houses and miniatures. A sweet lady, Marlene Buffington, who is no longer with us, did the forum. Betsy Niederer, who was a food fellow with
right.
IGMA, was one of the main people on there. Gosha was on there, who's a new
Sure.
artisan. Paywin
Yes.
was on there. Orsi Skoltetti, who was a fellow in food, she was on the forum back then. Kiva Atkinson, Linda Cummings, Carol Cook, all these lovely, also nurturing and encouraging artists were on there, which is how I ended up at Guild School in
Uh-huh.
2008, was to take food classes with Betsy. So I've always been very drawn to food. So it's
Yeah.
hard for me to pass an artist's table and not pick up something
Yeah.
yummy.
All right. So food category, that's big, and food artisans. Are there
Uh,
other categories? You mentioned fashion
well,
and bags and shoes.
yes, bags and shoes. And then I knocked one of Christine's paintings down. Let me grab this.
Wow.
So uh,
So are we transitioning to the Philly show, or
I
is
don't
this?
know. I mean, we could, but she's,
Well, I definitely want to hear more about your favorite artists, and
okay.
if it's Christine too, let's talk about it.
I do love Christine, and I love Orsi's food, and I'm gonna convince Orsi one day to come and teach in Castine. But it's hard for me to not walk away with a big charcuterie board, which it's one of my
So
favorite
what was
things.
that name again? One more
Orsi
time.
Skoltetti,
Oh,
and
Orsi from Hungary.
Hungry, yeah. Mhm.
I
I
don't
know you
even
put
want to
some
talk
of her
about her.
things on your posts as well, Darren. Saw that. I said, I recognized Orsi's work immediately.
Her stuff is just absolutely amazing. I cannot even not stop at her table.
No,
It's
I know,
incredible. It's
I know.
incredible. All right, so fashion, food, any other categories, and then artists in there? Obviously, and
I
I see
mean,
paintings behind
you
you.
name it. I do love so many people's work. It's just, I
Yeah,
mean, I love Jeannie Anderson is what brought me back,
we're
to
back to
food
food.
and back to Guild School. So I went to
Yeah.
Guild School in 2008, didn't get to go in 2009 because my son was born 2 weeks later, and my doctor said no, no. And so when COVID happened, and I started getting back into minis, and redid my patisserie and decided it needed to be pink. It was brown. I decided to build a little macaron cart to go with it. Still just
Get
had my
out.
little miter box.
That
And
is quite ambitious. That is ambitious. I mean, most people just leave the room box as it is. That is quite an undertaking.
I thought it would be
Like,
fun just to get back into the swing of things, because Ray and Scott weren't teaching at the time. So I thought, well,
yeah,
the next best thing would maybe be to convert it, and then started buying more and more wonderful pastries to go in there. I love Paris Miniatures as well. Emma from Paris Miniatures. I love Anna Mimondo and Rosa, who is from Spain. Her cakes I'm obsessed with. And she is just a beautiful lady with such a lovely heart, and has been so
yeah.
gracious every time I've seen her at shows. So I love
Wow.
all of her floral work. I mean, this basket was one of my favorite things that I purchased from her.
So
Um,
who is this? Whose work is this again?
Her name is Anna from
Anna.
Mimunda and Rosa is the name of her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she
Wow.
does flowers and cakes, and
And
flowers
who did
on
the
the cake.
basket?
Yeah.
She did the basket too? Or
I
did
thought
she
she made the basket as well. Yeah.
made the basket as well? That is just crazy. That is just crazy. So you are a big girl collector, I would say.
I'm trying. I'm getting there slowly but surely. I mean, I have to get my son out of the house before and all of his expenses.
Right, right, because you got to free up money for the miniatures.
That's right. That's right. And
Okay.
I do love holiday miniatures. So we had just come off of Halloween. We were going
Yeah,
into Christmas.
yeah,
So I really couldn't resist the Halloween and Christmas
yeah.
miniatures really show.
I hear you. All right. So, how long have you been going to the Philly show, and
So
what's your involvement? Because you were working the Philly show this year, and I don't know in the past as well.
yeah. So last year was my first year to ever go. I
Oh,
felt
oh,
like I knew a little bit about the show because I had heard Becky Gannon's interview with Kathy, who runs the show. And
yes.
I got to meet Kathy in person at the show last year because I went along with a friend of mine who needed help in her booth. Holly Curtis from Tees Miniatures. I bought an island from her. And when I opened the island, it was finished so beautifully, and it had been
Wow.
painted and sanded and painted and sanded. And I mean, I fangirled over it. We started
Yeah.
messaging and got to be great mini friends. And a year later, I was in her booth in Philly last year helping her
Right.
because her mom wasn't able to go. And
Yeah.
I got to meet Kathy in person, who is absolutely delightful. And I mean, the show is joyful because Kathy's at the heart of that. And I
Yeah.
had heard the story about how Kathy grew up in the show, got married at the show 14
Yeah.
years ago. And I mean, it has the feel that it has because Kathy is at
Yeah.
the heart.
For sure,
So
for
this
sure.
is only my second year to go, and I was there as a helper in Holly's booth. She's going to tether me to the booth next year, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's also good to see that side of things for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So this just goes back to you're very good in the miniatures world. That's very nice of you to do that, to help and be there, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It is,
So
and I like seeing it from that side because I get to talk to people and we're
yeah,
passionate about it. I mean, I get in there and sometimes Holly doesn't have a chance to say a word because I'm in there giving a
yeah,
sales pitch about her
right,
cabinets because I love them.
right. Yeah. So, like I said, I mean, I think it's great that you get to that you're so helpful and so wonderful within the community. So, but did you get out and be able to see
Oh,
what was happening
oh,
and get to
oh yeah.
shop the
Oh, I shop.
show?
That's why Holly's
And
going to tether me to the booth next year
yeah,
because every time she turned around, she said, "You're going to have to put location services on and carry your phone with you so I know where you are."
yeah. So last year was your first show. Then you really don't have much of a reference to things were a lot more quiet, let's say 5 years ago.
That's what I
These
heard.
last 2 years have been off the charts amazing. So you got to see a really great energy these last 2 years.
Absolutely.
One of the ways we gauge, success of a show and, greatness of a show, whatever, is, when people are three deep in trying
Yes,
to get to see the miniatures, that is one of the ways that
it
we
is.
know this is a good show. And that's what was happening at the Philly show.
And everyone was talking about so many artists that I love. Oh, I want to get in that show, and I'm on the waiting list, and the show's
Yes.
growing, which is wonderful.
Yes.
And
It is.
testament to Kathy and how, I mean, she comes around and every day was checking in with Holly to see if everything was okay, really wanting her
Yeah.
feedback, and just so lovely, so
Yeah.
lovely.
So now, did you have a shopping strategy going
I
into
did,
this show? Talk a
I
little
did,
about what was your
I did.
strategy?
Because I had to have my strategy during breaks, and so even for the Chicago show, I print out an alphabetical list. Now, Kathy posts hers like this. She makes an alphabetical list and then she does it by room. And then I mark everything that I need to see because, of course, I have to
Yeah.
do it during breaks and I want to be strategic. And there are
Right.
some places I need to go a lot earlier than others to make
Yeah.
sure I can get some things.
So talk about that. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Well, there's a lot of one of a kind. And once that one of a kind item is gone, it's gone.
That's
It's
right.
gone.
That's right.
And that's
So
why
you,
people start lining up at 5 a.m. in Chicago. And people were lining up for the preview for the Philly show. At least 2 hours before it started, there was a line.
yeah.
Because I know people were making a mad dash. I mean, I jokingly sometimes call it, I tell Craig LeBenz, I'm like, it's like the Hunger Games. People get near your table.
So
I was
the
like, I
pro
hope no
tip
children are
here.
trampled in getting to your table, Craig.
That's right. The pro tip here is if there is an artist you like,
Oh, yeah.
you got to get there because it might not be there 1 hour later or even
No,
less than that.
it won't
So
be. It
it
won't be. And
gets
I'm
it gets
always in Chicago. I'm at Anna's table first, and then Mundo and Rosa. And there's another lady who I see there at her table who has, a tray of everything. And I'm always looking over at her tray to see if she got something that maybe I wanted.
I love
I'm
it.
watching and I'm like, ooh. So yeah, it can be a little competitive because
A little.
there's only so much time for them to prepare for a show, and there's only so many things.
Yeah, I kind of don't even want to say what I like sometimes. Like if I'm at a table,
Mm-mm.
I won't talk out loud because if I point to something, somebody else is gonna get it. It's
Oh, for
kind of
real.
crazy.
Oh,
So
in
I gotta keep
Chicago,
my mouth shut.
this year it was the Pia Becker had
Yeah.
those guinea pigs, and I thought people were going to dismantle each other over the guinea pigs because I kind of went and I got in line maybe 45 minutes to an hour before the preview, and so I just thought it was fun to kind of bebop up to the front of the line and talk to some of the folks that were there. Some would not say what time they got in line because they didn't want anybody to know for next year how early they got there.
I love it. I love
So
it.
that was
I love it.
amazing. And then some people were really proud to say where they were going to go. And then other people wouldn't. I mean, they were keeping it tight to the chest there, tight to the vest.
That's what you have to
Yeah.
do. You kind of
Oh,
have
yeah.
to do it. That's
Yeah.
what you do.
And I
All
was
right,
kind of
so let's
listening because
talk
I
about.
thought, are they going anywhere that I'm going to go? Because I need to make sure I can run faster than they do.
It's kind of crazy.
It is.
All right, so let's talk about the Philly show. Let's talk about like some of the base dealers and artists that, you know what, they are stable. Every time you go visit the table, you know you're going to get high quality, good stuff. Let's talk about some of them, and I'm going to share some of my miniatures as well,
Yeah.
because I have some of
I want to know what you got.
those top of mind folks that I go to all the time. But they are like stable, like, okay, I'm definitely going to, you know, top of mind is Josephine Meyer. I need to go to Josephine Meyer's table first, because I know she's not going to have a lot of what I like, because she's got a very broad. Anyway, I'll share my side. Let's talk about.
Yes, be careful.
I'm getting too excited.
There, and you're like, I was like, don't tell too much.
I know. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about the state. The I don't want to call it the ones that have been around.
Yeah.
Who are some of those artists that you found stuff from, and let's talk about it and share it.
So I obviously, you know, I have a shoe and bag problem.
It's an opportunity. It's never a problem.
No, that's right. It's never
It's an opportunity to fill your new closet that you're making.
Let me see if I can tilt those. And I'm going to put them in my hand.
Yes. So that's Valeria.
Oh, yeah. I always have to go to her table.
Yeah, because her stuff, by the first day, it's all going to be gone.
Let me, because they have little tassels. There we go.
I could see the tassels. It's a little blurry. I don't know if you could put it in front of your hand.
I'm going
so that the camera finds it.
Yeah. Let's see if I can hold them like this so you can see the tassels, because she had on shoes with tassels.
Oh, she did. The thing about her work is it's always different. She's always challenging herself. She's always coming, like fashion. She's doing something new every season. And that's why if you like it, get it. She's not going to be doing it again.
Oh, and she did a collaboration this year with Sue Lemons.
Oh,
there we go.
Did?
That's better. Where she had crystals and butterflies.
Oh, that's crazy.
But she had on a pair of shoes with red tassels at the show. And when I looked down at her shoes, I said,
yeah,
I have to have one of the red tassel pairs of shoes, because it's going to make me think of her. When I see her, that's, you know, I don't wear shoes with red tassels, but because she had them on at the show and I love her, it's just I always think of that. So it was one of the reasons why she had shoes with orchids, and she had beautiful bags, and she had the butterflies, the crystals, but it made me think I will always remember that show and Valeria with her shoes with the tassels.
All right, I am going to talk about my shoe fetish. Mostly, I love women's shoes as well, but I cannot go there. I can't, because I can't. I have to stop somewhere. But I love men's stuff first.
Yes.
So Sylvia Roundtree, she has been around a long time. I think some of her best work is her male stuff, because there's kind of like a wear and tear already built in. You know, it's not perfect like a fashionable shoe that a lady might wear. But I found these two, and the other pair of shoes I will share is from Miniature Interior Designs.
Casey.
Casey.
Yes, the Thiebaud.
The Thiebaud.
The Thiebaud. Listen,
my mind just exploded when I saw
You created a stampede last year. So you showed the Birkenstocks last year, and my phone exploded in my pocket.
I love
Dee Dee from Mom of 8 Minis, Rabina in Canada. I had people messaging me going, I got to have this Birkenstock. I got to have the Birkenstocks. I got to have them. So I raced over there. And because of you, Darren, I was like, okay, everybody's got to. Becky Gannon was like, I got to have some. We all had to go race. Casey was 8 months pregnant last year selling Birkenstocks like crazy.
I really wanted the pink Birkenstocks this year, but I had to stop. I had to. I'm sorry. Maybe they'll be there next year. I don't know. But all right. So shoes. What else did you get?
So believe it or not, that was the only pair of shoes I bought at the show.
Interesting. All right.
Mainly because I bought a lot of shoes and bags this year that I ordered. I ordered quite a big little.
Is this a confession? I feel a confession coming on.
And I ordered, and then I got like 6 Chanel bags from a lady in Korea whose name I can't.
I want to know who this Korean lady is, and I thought it was very hard to get stuff from Korea.
Well, I just
the mailing is okay.
It was. I mean, I think it was one of those things where I probably I just trust, you know, and I just sent her the full payment, and then I got them like 6 months later, and I thought,
6 months.
But, you know, she was busy and had shows, and I just kept in touch with her. And, you know, my husband's like, maybe next time just pay a deposit. It was fine. And, I mean, everything I got was exquisite from
All
her.
right.
So,
Yeah.
but so I said one pair of shoes at the show because I had a lot of other things I was buying.
Yeah.
I
Right.
did get some different types of shoes.
All right. At this show, at the Philly show.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you'd really call it a shoe, but I did go with the holiday, the stocking.
Oh, like a stocking, a
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
stocking. Whose are
Kind of
those?
joking more than anything. But Carl Bronston. So I took his class on Friday.
Oh, he makes a lot of food too, though, right?
He makes beautiful food. But his
Yes, bearded
holiday
guy.
thing,
Oh,
yes,
those
yes.
are lovely.
So he did his first show when he was 15, 40 years
Oh,
ago,
wow.
but was making minis. I think he said he started at 8 or 9. I took his Santa sleigh class on Friday because I wanted to make a Santa sleigh and I wanted to wrap mini presents and make mini bows. And it was a fantastic class. And of course, even though I learned how to make and wrap mini presents, I had to buy some of his because they are just exquisite. The bows are just incredible.
Yeah.
And so, little basic ones too.
Yeah.
Also,
I have to say, I don't know her name. It's Maria. She makes the Christmas trees.
Incredible
Christmas trees. But I had to say that I noticed this year she was doing no, wait, what is that? Oh, that's a Christmas ornaments. She was doing wreaths, and I'd never seen her wreaths before. Beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, I almost bought one of her Halloween trees. It's on my wish list next year because I do love Halloween. I like Halloween.
Her Della Robbia Christmas tree is on my list. I'm gonna, yeah.
I think you need it.
I do need it. All right. Okay. So Christmas, you did Christmas. What is his name again? Because
Carl Bronston. But guess what? No website. He only does shows, and he's out of Seattle. But he has an email that I could share, and it just lovely, lovely gentleman, and everything I've ever purchased from him, I'm obsessed with.
And would you consider him a newcomer? Is he on that list? No, because he's been doing this for several years. All right. All right. What else? And then I'm going to show you a food miniature that I got.
Those are little Halloween lanterns that Carl made.
Oh, what are these made of? Paper?
Different paper. He is a paper genius.
Paper. So it's all hand cut paper, or does he use 3D, do you think?
Hand cut.
Hand cut. Blowing my mind. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. And then one food item from him.
One food item. Oh, that's awesome. It's a Halloween cake. Beautiful.
It's a little Christmas. Oh, actually, this one's a little Christmas cake. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I see it. Nice.
Little fruit cake.
Fruit cake. We're all a little bit of fruit cake. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So on that subject of food, one of my absolute favorite artists in the whole wide world is Christina Hamp.
I went to her table too, and she had all those fruit and cheese displays based on old masters paintings with the blue. Oh, gorgeous.
Her work is still life in 3D. That is how I figure it. That's how I look at it. The coloring, I mean, her workmanship is just off the charts, but
it's incredible.
The composition, the coloring, the feeling you get when you look at this, blowing my mind. Yes. Christine Hamp, love her. I think she's out of Germany.
She is. I bought some things from her too.
And we just talked
salad and some olives from her, and it made me crave them after I left the table.
Yeah. I'm gonna show. Oh wait. Oh, what?
That's
we're on food. Wait, whose is that?
Hers.
Is that
Christina Hampy?
Oh my God! And that's what, a mozzarella and basil tray?
Caprese, a little caprese salad.
Get out. Yeah. Get out. So she's divine. She is one of my favorite artists in the whole wide world. All right, I'm going to share. I'll share one of. Okay, that I don't know who made this, and I picked it up at one of the bigger tables, but it's not like super awesome.
Oh, it's so
cute. I love it because it is so plentiful.
It's so cute.
And sometimes I just want a lot.
I see a gingerbread man.
It's a Christmas platter. There's Christmas cookies. There's Lindsay tarts. It's just sometimes it speaks to you. Something speaks to you.
Holidays.
Just talk to me. Buy me.
Yeah.
I had to have it.
It's one of those emotional purchases that it made you happy.
And so we're talking a little bit about strategy. And my strategy is usually do not buy on the first round when you first get in.
Oh.
And I broke my rule within a few minutes, and I bought this.
How do you do that, Darren? I couldn't. I don't think I could.
How do you what? Not buy? I didn't. I broke my rule. I bought within the first 10 minutes.
I don't even know if you can have that rule. That's a lot of discipline.
The thing is, I need to set up some boundaries.
That's true. That's true.
I don't have an unlimited amount of money. I have to
Me
like be
neither.
strategic. And I mean, I
Yeah.
love this. I love it. I will love it forever. But
I may need to embrace that rule.
you know what? At least it just sets you up
That's probably
for,
true.
and that frees up time. I mean, there are
It
other
does.
ways to think about it. It frees up time to spend where you really want to spend
That's
it. I mean,
right.
there's a lot of ways to
That's
reconcile.
smart. That's smart.
Yeah. Yeah. But the bottom line is you do need a strategy, full stop,
You do.
when you go
You
in.
do.
All right. What else you got?
Well, I did. So I didn't mean to jump ahead, but with the
No, we're jumping all over the
um,
place. Let's just go for it.
I mean, her salad, her caprese salad made me happy, and so did her little bowl of olives.
Oh, get out.
I
Green
mean,
and
I
black
loved everything
olive.
at her table. I did shop at her table for a friend of mine that wasn't able to come to the show that really wanted something. So I spent a lot of time at Christine's table because she's precious and
She
her work
really
is
is.
amazing. And
It is.
I couldn't decide. And I have a lot of charcuterie boards and food prep in progress, and so to your point, I had to
Yeah.
show some restraint while at her table because I do buy a lot of things that I could make myself, but that I really want from the artist. But I did show some restraint.
Yeah. Good for you.
I tried. I
Good for
tried.
you.
I
You
tried.
tried. Have you ever bought the same thing twice? Just because you had I have done that because I love certain things and I forget I have it.
Oh. Hmm.
You can say no.
I don't think, but
It's
I've
my
gone
own
back and
problem.
bought more of something. I've gone back and bought multiples.
Okay,
So
that
just
yeah.
consider it was a multiple.
Good. All right, show me more. What else?
Okay. One of my favorite tables, first show he's ever done,
Yeah.
obviously first time to do Philly. And I wanted like 25 things off his table, but I thought I can wait because I know him and I could always order some things from him. So I wanted some other folks to have a chance. But when I walked up to Jonathan Stedman's table, House of Mirth Miniatures, I lost my mind on
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I did leave with a little Halloween
Oh,
bucket, and mainly because I went back each and every time, and he'd get more and more people at his table. So then I would leave because I thought, well, these other folks need to be able to shop. But I've already
yeah.
told him I have got to have one of his wrapped dollhouses. Did you see the
I
dollhouses
did
that are
not.
wrapped?
I
I
saw
have a photo of it.
I was
Mhm.
struck by his topiaries.
Oh,
That's
the
what drew
topiaries
me
were
in.
incredible.
So
And
his background is actually product design full scale. So his eye is incredible. If there
uh,
was an award for best newcomer, it would be him
by far, hands
by
down,
far.
hands down, hands
Amazing
down.
stuff. I hope we see more of him for sure.
Oh, I think we will. And he had so many beautiful things. The
He did.
topiaries, he had the food, the caviar, the champagne buckets, the Barbie dream house, and the boxed Barbies.
I don't think I saw that. I'm
Oh,
glad I
oh.
didn't.
Yeah. I'm looking right now. I'm like, I have pictures of everything at his table. I just wanted you to see the dollhouses. So he
I
had
didn't.
dollhouses that were wrapped, ready for Christmas morning.
Oh, I did see those.
Yeah.
Yes.
And all you could see was the chimney peeping out, but they were wrapped meticulously with a big bow
Yes.
so that that little girl would wake up or little boy Christmas
Yes.
morning
Yes.
and there's this doll. Oh, I just,
That is awesome. And he's super nice. I mean,
uh,
he is on my list, best newcomer for sure. I'm going
for
to try
sure.
to have him on for a Meet the Miniaturist
You
sometime in
should.
January. So,
You should.
all right. So that is awesome. Can we talk about paintings? Because I have a few paintings I want to share. So let's
Yeah.
talk about paintings.
You start. You go first.
Okay. All right. So we, I don't know if everybody knows who Christine Hannon is. She is an artisan. She's a new artisan, and she makes these awesome reproductions of Wayne Thiebaud.
Thiebaud.
Thiebaud. And I saw this and I said, I have to have it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so happy I do. Her work is absolutely amazing. And I forget who told me. I have an artist teacher friend. Now I know who told me. And she said, I didn't even notice this, but she's like, Christine picked up the technique
Oh, yes.
that Wayne has of
Yes.
dimension within these paintings. Blew my mind.
If you take a magnifying glass and look at it, the strokes mimic the strokes. I
Which is
told her at
why
first, I
these
said,
are
I'm not
so
worthy.
fabulous. What's
I am
that?
not worthy to have one. That's what I told her. So Christine and her husband were at my house in August. They had come
Oh,
down to
wow.
do the name convention and they were having dinner. And Joe looked at some whimsical, cute paintings I had in the kitchen of cakes. I have some, fun macarons and cakes in my breakfast area. And he said, oh, these remind me of Wayne Thiebaud. So I mean, had I seen Wayne Thiebaud's work in the past, probably in passing, but
Yeah.
didn't really know much about him. So of course, I had to start doing some research, and I ended up with one of his books and then another book.
Oh,
And then Christine talked about the series. And as I started to see them in development, she was showing the sketches and stuff. She'd messaged me. I said, okay, I'm obsessed,
yeah.
absolutely obsessed. I
Yeah.
didn't realize Wayne Thiebaud lived to be 101, I believe, and
Yeah.
was still painting well into his 90s. So I've been
Yeah.
fascinated learning more about him, but I'm not an artist. So there's some things I can make, and there's some things I will never make. I will never be a painter. I will never make
Right.
plants.
Right.
I will never make flowers.
Yeah.
And when I saw these paintings, I said, oh, I've got to have them. And
Yeah.
I couldn't stop. And at the end of the show, I had purchased two, and then she had two more. And I said, I need those other two. So
I need those others.
I needed all of them.
I'm gonna try that one day. I'm gonna need the others. So now, which ones did you get at this show? That's
So
awesome.
this is the cake slice that I would call like a Neapolitan slice, because it's, the
Yes.
strawberry,
Yeah. Wow.
chocolate,
Yeah.
and then the slice of pie. It looks kind of like a strawberry meringue.
Yes.
And
Wow.
I love the colors. Obviously, I have a thing for pink.
Yeah. And
But the
what's
first two that I
yeah.
got that started it all off was this dessert platter.
Oh gosh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And
Yeah,
then she did the companion to that, which I had to have once she
of
decided she was
course.
going to do the companion.
Wow. I mean, I think what you're saying about, as soon as you hear about these artists, you go and do your research.
Yeah.
That's another wonderful like offshoot of miniatures is that you learn all about
Yeah.
these other artists.
Yeah.
I didn't know about Wayne Thiebaud. I didn't know about him either. I didn't know she was even reproducing some other guys. I mean, it was all, and I learned so much. And then the technique and the style. Oh my God.
I know,
So
when she talked about the brush strokes, I was like, I really don't think I'm worthy. I was chatting with Julie Steiner about it because she bought one of the
yeah.
paintings for her husband, Dan, and they're incredible artists. And I thought, those paintings need to live with people like Dan and Julie. I'm not worthy, but I can appreciate the artistry behind it. And I love Christine. And
Yeah.
I mean, the subject matters. And get ready, Darren, because, Wayne Thiebaud did paintings of bow ties and all these other. I was like, Christine, we're going to have the series of lipsticks and high heels. You do realize I'm going to have the lipsticks and the high heels to hang in my walk-in closet to go with my bags and shoes.
This goes back to if you see something by an artist, get it, because
That's right.
she might get bored of doing this. Because have you seen her like Dutch master paintings?
Yes.
Her range is so broad. So she
Incredible.
might move on to something else. So the point is, get it. If you can afford
Yeah.
it, get it, because she might move on to something else.
And she is, for the time being. She said, I have to break the news to you. There's not going to be any more of those for a while. And I was like, that's okay, because I got my Christmas gifts from my in-laws and my parents,
What's
but
the
yeah,
little stand that
kind of
they're
moving
on?
Yeah.
What is the thing that says Wayne on it? What is the piece the is it a card? What is that?
That is a book. That is one of his
Oh,
books.
that's a book. Oh, I love
That's
it.
one of the books of his artwork.
That's
So I
the
just
book.
used it between that and this phenomenal credenza that I got from Holly Curtis while working in her booth, because she knows I love pink and she's not a pink person, but she did these beautiful scalloped credenzas, and she had some other pieces in her laundry room. She had scalloped cabinetry. And I said, that's going home with me. And once I had the paintings and stacked the paintings on it, it was really meant to be. So
Oh, I love it.
yeah,
On
with
that
gold
subject of
hardware.
cake, I got a kit from I don't even know who, from
Let's see.
Miniatures.
Oh, Minuteman. They're from Spain. Yes.
And they taught a class, I guess, and I
Yes.
just love this piece.
Yeah, it's
They have it
wonderful.
in pink. I don't know if I'm going to do pink, but I love the
It's
style.
French pastry
Can you
case.
see
It's
that?
beautiful.
I love it.
Their French pastry case is
Oh, is that
wonderful.
what it is?
Yes.
So that's what I'm going
Yes.
to do.
You're going to need some
Um,
cakes.
Oh no, don't get me started. I'm very specific about my cakes.
Oh, you are?
I collect cakes.
Oh, let's talk about that.
I collect layered cakes with a lot of powdered sugar and fruit. So Goja,
Yes.
love her stuff.
Yes.
Anything that has layers with cream coming out of it, I don't.
Yes.
Just whatever,
Now, I
whatever.
remember your post with all those cakes, because we were talking about, because you had one of Leslie Burgess's from the English Kitchen, who's now retired, was in that stack.
Oh, I did. I had one of hers.
Mhm.
I don't even remember.
You
Maybe.
did.
Right. Oh.
You did.
All right.
I remember now. I remember you liked the naked cakes with all the icing, because we
Yes.
did classes with Anna and Gosha too.
Oh, you did that class?
Yeah.
I got to do that one day too. I got to
Yeah.
put it on the list. All right. What else do you have?
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. So I did get some really cute Christmas things, but one of these really fun, whimsical things that I just had to have because why not? Kate Santagen, who's in Brooklyn, I had to get
Yes.
scratch off lottery tickets. Let me see if I can hold these scratch offs up close enough where you can
Her
see.
scratch offs blow my mind.
Okay. Weren't those incredible?
Well,
Wait, look at this one.
Tell
I just,
people, tell people those are New York lottery tickets that you can
yes,
actually scratch off
they're
by
incredible.
Kate Santagen from the Tiny
Incredible.
Craftress. The Tiny
Yes,
Craftress.
Tiny
Yes.
Craftress. Oh, and I mean, even down, I could barely pick this one up. I mean, the intricacy behind it. And I was chatting with Kate, and she said, "Oh yeah, the time.
Yeah.
I could barely even
Have you,
hold it in my
have,
hand."
have you seen her CVS receipts in
Oh yes.
miniature?
So I sat at her table a couple of times so that she could go, you know, get a Diet Coke and have a little potty
Yeah.
break. And I was tucking it in one of the little tote bags. They were amazing because they are identical.
They're long. I know.
Amazing. And then while I was sitting there, someone came by and said that the saltwater taffy and the pizzas were exactly like the ones I think in New Jersey, maybe, but she said they were absolutely authentic. Absolutely
Uh-huh.
authentic.
I bet. I
Yeah.
bet. All right. So on the subject of paintings, we're going to go
Yes.
back. I talked a little bit about Josephine Meyer. Now
Yes.
she doesn't do a lot of modern stuff,
Hmm.
and so when I saw this, it's a Rothko repro.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I was like, because I love her whimsical, delicate stuff,
Right.
but I love her modern stuff. And
Hmm.
so I'm looking at this, and then ridiculously small things. What's her name? I love her. She's the knitter.
Julie Steiner.
Julie
Yeah.
Steiner was standing next to me, and she
Oh yeah.
goes, and she's a museum person.
She is, and her husband Dan is an incredible artist.
They're very smart. They're very they're both artists. And so I'm
Right.
standing there looking at this, and Julie looks over, she's like, that is not an easy painting to
Nope.
reproduce. She goes, talked about the brush strokes, she talked about the shading, and I'm like, I need to have this even more now that I
For
hear
real.
that.
For real.
So back to like making sure you know where you're going. I go to her because she doesn't do a lot of modern, and I love her modern. So and I went right to her table first. Just
And you
saying.
knew you'd get something that you love.
I have three. I have a Picasso from her. I have another artist that I don't remember the name, but I learned all about her. Now it's gone, like an Art Deco.
Yeah.
And now I have a Rothko. I'm like, it's just, you get it. You get it.
Well, and that's part of the fun of being at a show like that. And you're standing there with Julie,
Yes.
who knitted the Princess Diana sweater that's now
Yes.
at Miniature Collection. We're,
Right.
we're calling it the Sweater Pilgrimage. We're going the first weekend in December to go see
Oh, is
the
that
sweater
right?
with Julie and her mom. Oh
Awesome.
yes, and see it at Spencer House. But
Oh,
with her expertise, and then
yes.
obviously Dan's background too, you get to have those conversations.
Yeah.
And I walk away so much more enriched and know so much more than I did before.
It's so
I
true.
love that aspect of this hobby.
Yeah. And the social aspect and the community. And like you just waltz up to a table. And I know Julie for a few years. We didn't even have to say hello. We were
No,
just there in that
that's
moment.
right.
You're here, I'm here, we're
That's
talking.
right.
It was just it's lovely. It's also lovely.
That's right.
All
And I
right.
do love the social aspect, as you know, like from the meetups and all that. I'm an only child.
Uh-huh.
But my husband's like, you're not really the quintessential only child. You're kind of like that dog at the Humane Society that thinks everybody coming in there is bringing you a biscuit. But I just, I want everybody to know each other and feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I went back to the Chicago show for the first time 2 years ago after having not been since I was pregnant, and I didn't know a single person there. And I was walking around from table to table, kind of quietly. And then Katie LaFortune came up and
Uh-huh.
introduced herself to me. We had just interacted a little bit on Instagram and was so warm and so welcoming to me. It makes me
Yeah.
teary still, and just made
Aw.
me feel, hey, you're back and you're in this community and
Yeah.
embrace. I mean, I get goosebumps. It's just
Yeah.
that kindness and that, being brought back into the fold meant so much to me. I'm like, I'm paying that forward. I want everybody to feel that way. I don't want anyone to feel like they walk into a show and they don't know what to do or what to
Yeah.
say and what to ask about. And I get messages all the time from people that'll say, well, I'm a newbie and, tell me about Guild School. So
Yeah.
I love that aspect of the community, and everyone is really so wonderfully giving.
Yeah, for sure. I find that too. Absolutely. I mean, it's so we're such a niche among a niche, and so we only have each other, so we have to be good to each other
Right.
for
That's
sure.
right.
All right. I'm gonna share. Actually, there was a table right in the hallway when you first come
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
and there was a woman selling her own collection. I don't remember her name, and I
Oh,
no.
I
Okay.
didn't see that, but I
I
didn't
don't.
remember that either, that it was her collection.
It was her collection, and she had a couple of really awesome things.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So this is actually not even a petty point. It is, I don't know to this moment what this is, honestly. It is such an amazing print. You can actually see every dot.
Oh, absolutely.
I, it looks like a real needlepoint, but it's
It
paper.
does.
It's paper. And I just love it. I
It
got
spoke
this
to
on the
you.
table,
It spoke
and I
to you.
got this
Oh,
beautiful
I love
I
that.
don't know, it's just a classic brass candle. I don't
Yeah.
know, what is it called? A candle
You needed
something.
it. You needed it. It's
Oh,
beautiful. I've
I
never
need
seen anything like that either.
absolutely. And of course it has the candles outside.
I love the little candles.
Yeah, so those are kind of like the surprise finds.
Yeah.
Like I would tell people all the time, go over to those tables that just look like they're unorganized because
Hmm.
you might find something really good
You
there.
always find a treasure.
You do, you really do.
Mhm.
So highly recommend doing that when you go to a show.
Yeah.
Don't stick to your own the stuff that you know. Go venture out, look at some other stuff.
And I still probably missed 40% of the tables.
Is that right? You never
Oh,
got
yeah.
to
Mm-mm.
wow.
Mm-mm.
Look at the face.
I can't imagine what kind of trouble I would have gotten in had I gone to more. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I sometimes
Yeah.
I have a plan and I do the
Hmm.
outside, I do the
Yeah.
inside, and then I get distracted and I forget where I left off. And sometimes I don't realize till the next day because I have to do 2 days. I
Yeah.
realize I never saw that table.
I
But
know.
yeah, it kills me not to see a table. So
I know. I missed a lot. I went back through the list as I was flying home and thought, oh, I didn't get,
I
oh,
know.
oh. I just kept looking at it going, oh,
All right, so put these on the list of
yes.
I have no idea why I got them, but I had to have them, and they're freaking too adorable.
Oh, I saw those.
This is not even my thing.
It doesn't matter. I
I,
saw all of
I
them
have
at
no idea
display
why, and I couldn't figure out which ones to get,
because
but I
they're
had to get
little and they're
Batman and
amazing.
Catwoman and the
Yeah,
Joker.
they're
Don't know
amazing.
why.
I saw that table. It was on the way through to the promenade, and they had all the different characters. And guess what? If they had all the Game of Thrones characters, I would have bought all of them, every
I
single one.
spent so much time trying to figure out which ones I was going to get. And by the way,
You did well.
it comes out,
I know.
and
Oh, I know.
I don't know, it does something else, but I don't remember what he told me.
Well,
It
you're
does-
brilliant. Let me make you feel better about that purchase. If you hadn't bought them at that table, you wouldn't have been able to select which ones you wanted, because I think the only way to get those is to buy them like in blind bags, maybe. So, I mean, they
Oh,
were already revealed. So it was great.
oh, there you go. I love
Mhm.
it.
You needed those.
They're so freaking adorable. I don't
Oh, they're
use the word
precious.
cute very, very often in the mini world. These are freaking cute as hell.
They are. They're hard to pass up. I'm telling you, if they had any of the Game of Thrones characters, I would have had Daenerys with the dragons. I would have had all the throne, all of it. So you
Yes.
did.
I would build a toy shop just to put these in.
You might have to now. Uh-oh.
But then I have to
Uh-oh.
collect toys. I'm sorry, I can't.
Okay, never mind.
I
Never mind.
can't. I will not live long enough. I'm just saying.
We'll get you one of those clear lofts to put a few extra fun things in.
Love it. Oh my God. All right. So anything else to share as we kind of have to wrap this up and let people go
Yeah.
home?
I'll be very quick. So I had to go by the mini beach house and see
Oh,
Teresa
yeah.
and go by marinas as well. And I got
Yes.
some of the, so of course, when I think of Teresa, I always think of like, all the aqua and the beachy colored stuff.
Yes.
So I got these, I love the
Love it.
jadeite, but then because I
Love the
love the
color.
striped vase so much, I had to
Yes.
get the Christmas one.
Oh, look at that. It's
And
like
she only had
peppermint
one.
stick. Awesome. Awesome.
And then when I went to Marina right next door, I just love
Yes.
these Christmas trees, the way she painted them.
Yes. Her little glass pumpkins were amazing.
Oh, I bought one of those last year, so I didn't need a pumpkin. But then she had these beautiful canisters, and I couldn't decide. One had like a little stone on the front. I went with the heart. but this
Yes.
has got a little bit of a gold trim.
Beautiful. Now those
I just
3D
love
printed,
that.
they're 3D printed
Probably.
and
And I will tell you, I own a 3D printer, but I buy 3D printed things because there's so much artistry in how people finish them.
absolutely
And
3D is
also, I'll tell
yeah.
you this. So Christina Hempy, who is extremely talented with all of her food, she had a little bucket of or a little box of 3D printed raw things. And I bought a bunch of them because guess what? To print those and pull those off my printer, as tiny the detail is, I thought,
Yeah.
I'd rather buy that for $2 than
Yeah.
deal with pulling it off my printer because these little lacy baskets with that little
Yeah.
detail on the edge, that's really, I mean, to have the supports. And, I know that everybody's got an opinion about 3D printing and technology, but you don't just punch a button on the machine and it just comes out.
No, no.
Um, you
Hello,
know,
Esther Marker in South Africa. Her
thank
work
you.
is beautiful. It's 3D
Thank
printed. It's
thank you.
yeah, no,
And it
I hear
takes a
you.
lot to take something that is raw plastic
Yeah,
and make it look this
yeah,
beautiful.
for sure. Absolutely.
You know, that I think there's some artistry in that. And I bought raw things like this cute little Christmas village from my mini front porch, Heather,
Oh,
who makes incredible appliances. Did you see her appliances? She had a washer and dryer. The inside barrel turned. You could take the lint screen out, and the detergent compartment on the washer pulled open.
get out.
Oh, it
Just
was
get out.
unbelievable.
That's
Holly bought
crazy.
one for her daughter to have in her little dollhouse. It was unbelievable. So I got two little Christmas villages, and Heather packages everything so cute. I like to paint some stuff in pinks and aquas, and then I like to do other things in traditional Christmas colors. So I had to get
Yeah,
two sets of those.
yeah. All right. I'm gonna finish up with one more. I think it's itty bitty mini, not itty bitty mini mart, but here, just
Itsy
look.
bitsy.
Itsy bitsy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
File folders.
I saw those.
Um,
Unbelievable.
Inter-office mail envelope below my
So good.
head away. And finally,
Sticky
post-it
notes.
notes.
I know those are so
I
great.
freaking I
I know.
have I love office supplies in real life. So wait, I have to show one more
And
thing and
she
then I'm
does
gonna let
such a
you
good job. Oh, show it
finish
all.
up.
Let's see.
This is from
Oh, Susan
this
Van
is
Turbine.
from
Susan Van
Susan
Turbine.
Van Tubergen.
Yes.
So this is a miniature. Hold on, let's do
Mm-hmm. So on
it
the little
is
balloon.
it is a porcelain blow-up balloon
Yes.
dog.
Yes.
Blew my
Oh yeah.
mind.
She is so talented. I took her class in Castine last summer. I'm taking her raku class next summer. Her work is unbelievable. I bought some of her Majolica plates.
Yes. And
Unbelievable.
her range is also
Unbelievable.
pretty broad from her how do you say it? Majolica?
I
Majolica?
may not be saying that correctly, but that's how I
Beautiful European design. And then she's got,
incredible.
the Reiku pottery. Her work is stunning.
But
Stunning.
when she does something, she definitely may not do it again.
Oh, absolutely. You bet. Get it. Get it.
Mhm.
All right. You want to bring us home? Do you have one final piece to share? She's
Mhm.
thinking.
So I did. So Carl Bronston does carry with him Helen
Uh-huh.
Jeremiah's baskets. Helen does
Oh,
not do shows. Do you know about Helen
okay.
Jeremiah's baskets?
No, I
Oh,
need to
oh.
know.
I have a problem. I don't know what I need them for. Someone asked me, "Are you going to do a little scene?" I said, "I have no idea. I just had to have them."
Doesn't matter.
Little picnic
Oh, is that
basket,
a wood top?
wood top, but the one with the woven top is just as incredible.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
That
it
is
gets better.
just
Oh, wait, Darren, it
amazing.
gets better. This one that holds 2 wine bottles.
Oh my goodness.
And
You know,
no, and then the little cart that has
more
she
wine
had
bottles.
she also well, I had to put all the wine bottles in there. She had lots of little tackle, like the little fishing, baskets that have like
Yes.
and then look at this one with the open weave pattern on it.
Oh my goodness.
And those are little bachelor buttons I got from SDK Miniatures because I will never make plants. But
Yeah.
her baskets are incredible. And she just sends them with Carl and does shows. And I had to have all of them because
Good for
why
you.
not?
Good for you.
Why not?
This has been an incredible time spending with you to talk about miniatures and your haul for the Philly show. Thank you so much. I hope I'm going to see you when in Chicago, probably next,
Oh,
right?
absolutely, for sure. I'll be there all week because I'm taking Teresa Lehman's market stall class. So I'm going to arrive Sunday.
Oh, wow.
You need to look at that one.
All right.
It's
All right.
unbelievable.
I can only imagine. Thank you so much for being on today, for sharing your wonderful
Thank you for asking me.
miniatures and talking about all of this. And thank you for all your support for the miniatures world. You're such a mover and shaker and a voice. So it's
You're
been
very
a
kind.
pleasure. Thank you so
I love
much.
all the people, and I
Yeah.
appreciate what you're doing for everybody. You got to keep us in the spotlight.
Well,
The
thank you.
miniature world is pretty important, but it's pretty small. So,
Yes, it is. It is. All right. Well, thank you. And thank you for at home for watching, and have a great rest of your weekend. All
bye,
right.
everybody.
Bye.